Hello, welcome RM Tech Network Consultants. This lesson is about understanding how disk wiping works using the Linux command dd. In real systems, data is stored in disks and sometimes we need to remove that data completely. This can be for system cleanup, security testing, forensics labs, or secure data destruction. In cybersecurity, understanding how data is stored and how it can be destroyed is very important. Attackers often try to recover deleted data, and security engineers must understand how data is removed at a low level. This lab helps you understand what happens when data is overwritten directly on the disk, not just deleted normally. And this topic is very important in areas like system administration, penetration testing, digital forensics, and data security. It teaches you how sensitive data can be permanently destroyed so that it can be recovered using a normal tools. This lesson is mainly for students for cybersecurity, Linux system administrations, ethical hacking, and anyone learning with the operating systems. Manage storage is especially useful for beginners who want to understand how powerful Linux command can directly interact with the hardware. In cybersecurity, this topic falls under data security and system level operations. It's also related to digital forensics because forensics experts often trying to recover data that was deleted or wiped. Understanding how DD works helps you understand both how to destroy data and how difficult it is to recover is after wiping. In our first step, and we are identifying the disks in the system. So right click, open the terminal. Okay, I will maximize. So in our first command is a sudo fdisk -l. So when you run this command, Linux shows all the disks connected to your system. This is one of the most important steps because you must clearly know which disk you are working with before doing anything else. Linux names disks like diff SDA, diff SDB, and so on. Usually, diff SDA is the main system disk where the operating system is installed. Another disk like diff SDB is often a secondary or new disk. If you choose the wrong disk, you can accidentally delete your whole operating systems. That's why this command is used as a safety check before doing any disk operations. In our next step, we will create a partition on the disks. So you will write sudo sudo fdisk sudo fdisk and diff sdb. Yes, then you will write new, then next you will write p, and then you will write w. So this partition table has been altered, synchronizing disks. So it means this command opens the disks diff SDB so you can modify it and create partitions. Inside the disk tool, you create a new partition by pressing N. Then you choose for a primary partition. After that, you press Enter to accept default values. And finally, press W to save the changes. When you save, the Linux writes a new partition table to disks. After this step, the disk is no longer empty because it now has a new partition called diffsdb1. So in our next step, we will create a file system on the partitions. So then we will write sudo mkfs -t ex t4. Then enter diff enter sdb1. Then enter. This one is unmounted, so you will click and then you will start to create mount point. So I will write a sudo mkdir and then data file. So I create a folder. Linux does not use drive letters like a Windows, instead it uses folders as access points for disks. Here is we create a folder called a data file. This folder will act as the entry point to access the disks. In simple words, it's like a door that connects you to the disks. In our next step, mount the disks. So mount, sudo mount, okay, diff sdb1 data file. Then enter. Then this command is connected to disks. In the next step, we will create symbol files. So you will write sudo touch data file, then open the bracket, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then close the bracket, and then .txt, then enter. So this command creates six symbol files inside the disks. These files are file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4, file 6. Even tough you see them inside data file, they are actually stored in a diff HTTP1. And view the files. So we will write sudo ls data file. You will see all the files in here: file 1, file 2, file 3, file 5, and file 6. So in the next step, we will make an sudo unmount data file for unmount disk. Then sudo amount data file. Then you will write and wipe the disk using the dd. Then you will write sudo dd, and if is equal diff and the urandom, and you will write of is equal diff hdb1. Then you will write bs is equal 1m, and then status is equal progress, sorry, progress, then enter. This is the most important command in this lab. The dd command writes raw data directly to disks. Here a diff a random is used as the source of random data, and diff HTTP1 is the target disk. The BS and is equal 1M option makes the process faster. The status is equal progress shows the progress while it runs. When the command runs, it overwrites every part of the disk with a random data. This means all previous files and the file system's structure are destroyed. So we will wait a small seconds to finish it. Now it makes a copied. Now it finishes. So, and it's wiped. In our last code, you will write sudo file minus s, then you will write diff sdb1. Then you will see the diff sdb1 is data. It means the last code shows up wiped. So thank you, and we will see you in the next lesson.